102. That's what my pulse rate was when I was just laying in bed and not moving. So I had an anxiety attack yesterday. Um, FDR, of course, said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. In my case, I have to fear um, that anxiety, not just because of the unpleasantness of it, but because I have a AFib arrhythmia and a heart condition. I have to fear walking because my legs don't work. Of course, everybody fears losing their mind when they're on benzos. That's just a given. But I realized I said I was going to stay off here for a few days. But that's a significant thing because I'll get nervous, but my pulse doesn't go over 100. My resting pulse rate is 70 to 75. So I'm just gonna have to start taking some chances. I mean, it's 2:20 in the morning here. My sleep is still, wonky. I had it straightened around, and then it destabilized again. But yeah, I'm gonna have to start taking some chances. I mean, I'm gonna uh, shortly here. I'm gonna go out, carry my own garbage out, and throw it out in the trash cans. And then I'm gonna take a walk. If I fall down, if I fall down. If I get hurt, I get hurt. Um, I'm gonna lift weights, which I've been putting off, and if I I can't just sit there and worry about since my heart thing resurfaced around the 6th, I can't worry about going to the hospital. I can't just sit there, and be inactive. And I'm going to give myself permission to finish this cup of coffee, and then I'm just going to get off my ass. And I got some groceries, some different food in here, so I'm going to make myself an omelet. And then I'm going to get outside, period. As far as avoiding the people in the building, that's also not healthy, but being around them is not healthy too. Um, there's a what do you call them when they're on YouTube channel? There's a channel called Academy of Ideas that I've been checking out. And the only way to really overcome your anxiety, and I found this, I already knew this anyway, but this was just a reminder to me. But Academy of Ideas, if you want to check out stuff about psychological health and how to change your life for the better and stuff like that. But the only way to overcome that is anxiety is a form of powerlessness, is to exercise your power. Now, that's why I have to start getting outside, and I have to start walking. I'm gonna, if I run into these people in this building, whatever, I want to get out of here. But changes have to be made. Yeah, I mean, it's scary. I mean, if you can't walk right and you're 6'1", it's a long way to the ground, and that street's fucking hard. You can bring your phone with you, but then you have to go through the humiliation if you hurt yourself. I should maybe have a medical alert bracelet or something. But yeah, the 102 thing, that's a wake up call. I mean, like I said, I don't like passivity and not exercising your power. Whatever it is you can do, and not staying on top of things, that's gonna cause you more psychological problems. And I haven't been making my appointments. I haven't called about my leg and done anything about my leg. I'm not even sure they can do anything about my leg. as far as like operating on it, or you know, I've already see what bothers me is I can go back and I can look at my videos and I can see where I was putting in the effort, man. I'm seeing where I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm just butting my head up against the wall, and I'm just worn out by it. Yeah, I'm worn out by it, so I went passive and I'm like, well, um, that's why I made a decision like, okay, we're gonna take a different route with this. I'm just gonna stop living because this living shit isn't working. I'm not getting anything done. I'm not improving my situation. So what can I do? I can exercise. I can build up my little muscles. I can rearrange my living room and walk around my living room, and I can not spend any money and stack up money. I can do that much. But that's not going to appointments. That's not addressing the fact that you can't walk. That's not addressing your physical issues, and the lack of human interaction. I mean, you know, and then it's manifesting itself that it doesn't seem like I'm being passive, but I'm just kidding myself. It's like I have to be involved in, I have to interact with other people and I have to be involved in doing something, to use a word I've never liked, proactive, where it's like it's me doing it. It's me making the calls. It's me setting up the appointments, and that's what I was doing. It's just I wasn't able to get anything done. It took me like freaking 6 to 9 months just to get a medical scooter. Everything was like pulling fucking teeth, and then they pulled my teeth. You know, so yeah, shit has got to change, and it's got to change now, cause I ain't having that, man. I ain't laying in bed with no 102 thing and 102 pulse rate where I'm taking blood pressure pills, because those things, there's research that shows that if continued use of metoprolol or blood pressure pills is not good for you either. I went to a cardiologist who said something about that, and he said, I'm going to send that information to your primary caregiver some time ago. But my primary caregiver is still prescribing the blood pressure pills, and I'll take them as a substitute when I have increased heart rate and I feel anxiety for the benzodiazepines, which, I've gone back to 12.5 milligrams a day. I mean, that's where I fucked up. Is like I went too fast on them things, and it started early this month on the 6th, and then everything went to hell in a handbasket. You know, uh, I still hate the way I talk. I still hate the way my mouth feels with all those missing teeth. I don't, my tongue is not used to its new place in the world, where I don't want to start lisping. You know, I mean, I have a lot of things. Okay, not being able to walk right. Having, I got a lot of stuff to deal with. Maybe that a lot of people don't have to deal with, but that doesn't matter. What matters is to get you out of your funk, and is to do what you can do. I can lift weights. I can do that. I can walk. I can go outside. I can, I can put in the effort. But if I start getting to the point where, like, if I start regressing back to where I was, to where I'm like nervous, like I was the other day about making phone calls, it's like that's something that I had to overcome like years ago. And it, yeah, I'm just not, I'm not feeling good about things the way they are. And yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to revert to my old patterns of, like, having a good time and just uh, bullshitting on here until I make those changes. You know what I mean? But that's a significant thing to report. To be laying in bed and to have 102 pulse. That's that's not a panic attack. That's an anxiety attack. If that happened, like if when I'm already in a high stress situation, maybe I have a panic attack. I don't know, but that's a new thing that's happened since the 6th, when I dropped my dose to 10. It's like I'd be checking my pulse, and I'm like, I don't feel right, and my pulse would be like in the 80s, and I'm like, well, that's a little high for me. Then a couple of times in the 90s, and now I'm going over 100. It's like these are warning signs, whether they're warning signs that I got another heart thing coming on, or warning signs that I'm um, putting too much stress on myself psychologically by not interacting with people, not going outside, just living an unhealthy life. I mean, I don't know, but it's time to change the plan, and it's hard to change habits. And like here I am talking um, on here. It's hard to change habits, but it's gonna start today. And like I said, I'm gonna drink this cup of coffee and give myself permission to do that. Get my butt out of bed. I'm gonna do something which I never do, which is cook and make an omelet, eat an omelet, and get outside and take a walk. And if I fall, I fall. I can't live in fear of falling. If my heart acts weird, have a phone with me. I can call 911, but I can't. My body's messed up. It doesn't work, but I can't live in fear. I can't do it. I can't. I can't do it. Anyways, yeah, it takes time to these changes and behavioral changes that you make. You know, it's not going to be easy. Um, but I'm just gonna have to start getting outside. Period. Talk. I got that guy coming on Friday to my house, and I'm gonna talk to him, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna tell. Maybe I don't know how I'm gonna do this moving thing, but the moving thing has to be done too. And that's a lot of stress. Explain to him that my situation, like with my heart, that like between the benzodiazepine thing, where I mistapered, and my anxiety, and the level of dysfunction and depression that I'm at, I'm going to need help. No shame in asking for help. And that's coming up on Friday that I talked to the dude. I'm going to have to be real blunt, and like, if all you can give me is numbers, I mean, there's no point in me really seeing you. You're a nice guy. I like you. But if all you're going to give me is numbers, I can make that's all the help I'm going to get is numbers, which I could find myself, like I moved before and looked in the actual classifieds in a paper when I moved into here. I did that myself. If that's all the help I'm going to get, yesterday I made my phone call to go into psychiatric nurse. I'm also going to tell him the same thing. It's like, this is some serious depression shit I'm playing around with. This is some serious anxiety things I got going on. I got to have some sort of change. And in the meantime, before I can make the big change of moving and getting out of here, I'm going to have to make the little changes of taking those chances and walking outside, with my cane. And if I fall, I fall. And I can get back up, maybe, hopefully. If my heart acts up, my heart acts up. You're going to sit around being afraid just because you had your heart shocked like 6 times. I had my heart shocked on December 5th, 2018, and September 13th of 2019. It hasn't even been a year since I had my heart shocked. Maybe I'll get lucky and die, and I won't have to worry about any of this shit anymore. But I cannot live like this. This is yesterday, just laying there and having that anxiety attack. It's like the way to overcome anxiety, at least for me, is to exercise power. Make your phone calls, interact with people, get outside, move around, do stuff. Anyways, like I said, I'm not drinking my coffee right now, so who knows? Maybe I can walk outside and I won't fall down and I won't slip. I don't know how wet it is outside. I don't give a fuck how wet it is outside, frankly. If I slip and fall, I slip and fall. If I get a bruise, if I get a scrape, I break my fucking arm, I don't care. I mean, there's nothing worse than laying there like I was yesterday with that anxiety attack, feeling that despair, and I'm shaky right now. I'm shaky. I'm fucking shaky right now. It's like I gotta do something to combat that. Anyways, that's the current state of Steve. And see, that only took 16 minutes, and I'll put this up later after I go for my little trudge. And I gotta. How else do you overcome cabin fever and being stir crazy but to get the fuck out of the house? And if you don't have anybody to take you out of the house, you gotta take your own ass out of the house. You gotta limp around on a cane. That's just the way it's gotta be. Am I afraid? Fuck yeah, I'm afraid. Am I anxious? Fuck yeah, I'm anxious. But the fear itself is worse than the consequences. If I fall out there in the street and bust up my leg, I'll take pain over anxiety and fear any day. And yeah, hopefully I can stay off here and not use this as a crutch. And I like to talk and I like to be entertaining, but let's face it, while I'm on here talking for an hour and a half, I just getting worse. And then when I get better, then it'll be a privilege to get on here and to do my usual routine. But yeah, I need to say it before I can do it, because I like to keep my word. And fear or no fear, got to be done. And yeah, that's kind of the purpose of this. So, like I said, man, good luck to you. Good luck to me. And good fortune. And we'll see how it goes. I'll see you next time. Okay. Well, I did what I said I was going to do. Well, my pulse rate is right now. I don't have a stopwatch. I took a blood pressure pill before I started walking. But, it didn't have time to kick in, I don't think. That was scary. Yeah. It's like 37 degrees out. And it's wet out. It's sprinkling rain. Of course, I just came in and plumped down on the bed. And only thing I did was crack open a window. I still have a little fog on my glasses, which you probably can't see. Maybe you can see. You should know by now. I'm not playing games on here with y'all. This isn't performance art. This is like more like Grand Guignol. I don't know how to say it. It's that French theater thing. It would have been funny if I could have pronounced it. But anyways, yeah. Just to amp up the stress a little bit, I decided to read some about the coronavirus since I don't really follow what's going on in the world. And, just for that fortifying effect. And it's the first time I've been out and I don't know how long. And once I got out, of course, I wanted to walk for I was like, oh, it's so great if I could just walk for a half hour, just walk. But I noticed when I was walking, it's like my right leg, I feel a lot going on in my left leg as far as like my hip adjusting to it and all. But yeah, getting a routine of doing this until they figure out something with my knee. But it's scary because there's nothing for me to hold on to out there. And like I said, 6'1", that's a timber. And this isn't that much cushion when I hit the road. And Lord knows I don't have that much cushion on my body, so I was just careful. Walking with the cane and just noticed like my left hip, man, my left leg is fucking useless. You know how they say one hand washes the other? Well, one leg helps the other. So as I've said a billion times, that's the one I knew. That's why I freaked out and broke down and cried for the first time in 29 years, was over my right knee, because I understood the implications if they didn't fix that. I knew what the next, that was, fuck my brain, that was in 2017, so I knew what the implications of what the next 3 years were going to be like if that didn't get fixed, and that's why I put buku effort into trying to get it fixed, to the point of going to the Cleveland Clinic and going to Tricorn Orthopedics and getting I don't know if you call it a procedure or surgery, an arthroscopic thing that done where I was laying on my back and they put things in the back of my knee. And yeah, but man, when I got out there, I was like, you walk to the end of this fence and then turn around and walk back. And of course, I didn't bring my cell phone. So if I would have fell and broken something, I would just be laying there until somebody found me. Duh. But anyways, I was just like, walk to the end of this fence and then walk back. It's like I had such an urge in me, like just from who I used to be. Like, man, I just want to keep going. I just want to walk further. So I really walked further than I should have. Blood pressure pill, I think, is helping moderate my heart rate. But, I don't, the last watch I had broke. I don't have a watch, so I can't take my pulse. But yeah, I figured I wouldn't leave you hanging. And maybe it'd be like inspiring or something. I like it when I'm useful to people. I told somebody that on there recently. I like being useful to people. That's why I give away all my shit, because I think that's helping them that don't help people. I mean, I don't think so anyway. Not really. I don't know how you help other people, but I don't know. My stomach's saying all kind of things. It's like I'm empty now, thank God. It's like I woke up and I had like two what would you call it, alimentary canal clearing events 2 days ago, and then this morning where I'm sure I'm empty. I don't ever feel empty because I get the cramping and stuff from the benzo side effects. But it just, my stomach always feels fucked up, no matter what, you know. Um, and I can't tell really what's going on with my lower body too good, or I could probably walk better. But yeah, that was a sobering experience. Exhilarating, of course, because it's dangerous, you know. But to do that, um, it's funny. It's funny to me. I mean, like I walked from one city to another city, literally just to see if I could do it. I did it. You know, I still had CRPS, but once that knee fucked up, and once the CRPS got worse, and once the benzo dependence uh, started messing with me, and then all the emotional stuff, uh, it's just a different ballgame now. So it's just funny to me that like one steps outside, each step is an adventure. Like careful. Each step is like you're a snake charmer, or like you're worried about getting hurt every fucking second. When I used to walk for pleasure, and like I said, I walked from Canton to the city I live in now, Massillon, and back. I don't know how long of a walk that was, but it took all goddamn day. And my, how things have changed. But yeah, if you want to change, that's what the Jordan Peterson guy. I'm sure anybody I got like 80 views on the because it had Jordan Peterson in the title, you know. Because I want, a lot of people just think he's sick that are like fans of his. He has millions and millions of fans. So I thought, Jordan Peterson and Benzo in the title. This is why he's sick, you know. Now the full background of his story, I don't know, but I got like 80 hits on that. In less than 48 hours, just because it had his name in it. So I'm not trying to piggyback off his name. I mean, I'm just trying to explain to people what's going on with the guy, and then expressing my own desire that will get the word out. Because I'm nobody. I'm nothing. I'm just some odd cat. He's had an odd life, but this guy is somebody in the world. It's like that's all I want is what happened to me to never happen to anybody else again. Because as I've said too many times, I always avoided chemical dependence. Oh, maybe because I had morphine dependence in the hospital when I had my tumor pulled out when I was 16 years old and lost my goddamn mind. So that's kind of a powerful incentive to avoid dependence of any kind. So, you have to point a gun at me to get me to smoke crack, shoot heroin, snort heroin, mess with anything. None of that stuff was me. No, never drank, never had a problem with that. I never drowned my sorrows type of guy. The only addiction I really developed was to pornography and cigarettes and cigars. Yeah. But if if the information gets out there, and this super famous guy who's an internet icon, more or less, starts, and he's super eloquent and just a genius, and he's all about helping people, and he's all about self-help, real selfless guy too. So if he can recover, and if he's willing to do it, he could just let everybody know. There'd be no more me's, and that's what I want. Is no more me's. No more ignorant fools, I mean, nobody picks up a crack pipe and says, I wonder what this will do, or no one like casually You know, they know what that's about. They know about stuff like that. There's this, you know, they don't know a little yellow pill fuck up your whole life and maybe kill you. And is one of the few withdrawals that actually can kill you. Um, yeah, I used to think like heroin withdrawal would kill people, but if you're healthy, heroin withdrawal won't kill you. It just make you want to die. You make you feel sick and suicidal and make you have those feelings. Whereas a benzodiazepine withdrawal flat out kill you. And I heard different things about the Jordan Peterson guy, like that he had either went into a coma or they induced a coma on him. I mean, he was bad. But you know, thankfully, he's on the road to recovery, and I did my bit to try to help myself. I should drink some water this morning, and I cooked, and I haven't done that in so long that I didn't have a spatula to flip over my omelet. I had to I just cooked one side of the omelet. I cooked one side of the omelet and put a lid on top of it, and then put the cheese on top of the egg, and then just took a couple of forks and flipped there was a 4-egg omelet, and flipped the egg over top of the itself. And yeah, that's the next time the aid worker comes in here. Could you please get me a spatula? Yeah, I took out the garbage. I miss doing things for myself, and you know, it's why breaking my toes in November pissed me off so bad. And then I got sick in December, and it wiped me out. And you know, I can't afford that kind of shit with CRPS. I couldn't afford a benzo problem. And I'm thinking back in my videos, like I think 5/22 18, I like a year and a half ago. I'm pretty sure there's a video of me on here where I pushed a 100-pound bike 15 times further than I walked this morning. You know, so I've really declined miserably, and breaking my toes didn't help it. And yeah, my walking's gone to shit. I don't know how much, if I can recover some of that, or if I can get help with that, or I don't know. I hate doctors. I hate going to doctors. First item of business is to get this right. Get my head right. Get out of here. Do these walks. You know, if I fall, I fall. If I have heart trouble, I have heart trouble. But get my head right. Get the fuck out of here. And I'll be willing to deal with the medical community and going to Cleveland Clinic over to CRPS. And you know, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they don't give a shit because I'm old. They like to invest in young people. They're like, you're old. You already got all these problems. You're kind of on the way out anyway. So fuck you. It's like, you know, it's like the medical community is the mama bird, and it's just like instead of feeding just the strongest looking ones in the brood, and like, oh, this one ain't gonna make it anyway. It's like the medical community is like, you got all these other issues, man. We don't really want to invest our time in you. And then they always got the threat of malpractice coming back on and whatnot. Yeah, my mouth dry. Yeah, but I was terrified. I ain't gonna lie. Big bad me, all terrified and shit. But I ain't big bad me no more. Guy used to walk through the Newton Zone, man. When they give an area a name, like the Newton Zone, you don't go walking through the Newton Zone unless you're me. Them days is gone. So, you know. So yeah, act of bravery is relative to your situation, which is the lesson from Gilbert Grape with the big giant fat woman walking out in public. You know, if you ever seen the movie Gilbert Grape with Johnny Depp, there's a big giant fat woman, and I don't know if they explain it outright or I just figured it out in my head. But I was like, it's braver for that person to go walk in public and get made fun of, and know she's going to get made fun of, and have trouble breathing because of her immense 600-pound whatever weight, and walk to the post office and get out of the house for like the first time in ever. It takes more bravery to do that, and it may take more bravery for you to get up and try to have a normal day when you have a benzo thing. Even just getting out of bed when you're in benzo withdrawal and fighting, you know. So I thought I'd rather than make that, I thought I'd like sandwich these two videos together. So that make them about 30. This make it about 32 minutes, which is a reasonable length. I have no name for it. I'll come up with something. I usually do. I have my cool pins on my coat lapel. That top one is the old Chief Wahoo, who is banned, and it says 1901 on it for the Cleveland Indians, and that's the Brownie Elf, which they just had the last year with the Brownie Elf as a mascot. I'm not sure why. If because he's a fairy, elves, the Brownie Elf is a fairy. I don't know if the homosexual community got angry at him or the League of Mystical Creatures, Anti-Defamatory League, doesn't like the caricature of that elf. I wish I could take him off of there and show you what he looks like. Yeah. Anyways, so I'll see you in a couple of days. I thought this might be a little more uplifting than my usual thing, to show you that I'm sincerely trying. And, I do what I can. I guess the appropriate word here is adios.